You're watching a story unlike anything you've seen before. A story of danger, passion, and a woman whose entire life is suspended, literally, by a single strand of hair. Before we dive into the performance that shocked Spain, broke the internet, and made millions question the limits of the human body, make sure you're ready for an emotional, thrilling, and breathtaking journey into the life of the woman who risks it all on her hair. The lights of the Got Talent España stage flicker like stars coming to life. The packed audience murmurs with anticipation. It's another night filled with singers, dancers, comedians, and hopeful dreamers. But none of them know that tonight they're about to witness something that pushes human endurance far beyond what anyone would think possible. Backstage, a woman stands alone. Her eyes are closed, her breathing steady. Her long, strengthened hair is tied into a complex, meticulously crafted knot, a knot that will soon become the only thing holding her entire body weight high above the stage. Her name is Lucia. To the world, she's known as the hair suspension artist. But to those who truly understand her journey, she is much more than a performer. She is a survivor, a fighter, a woman who rebuilt her entire life from a moment of loss. The audience doesn't know any of this yet. All they see, when she finally steps out onto the stage, is a woman with a calm expression, wearing a costume covered in glitter that catches the light beautifully. The judges sit forward. Even the host, who has seen hundreds of auditions, seems unsettled by her quiet intensity. Lucia looks around the stage, slowly turning her head from the crowd to the judges. She smiles politely, her voice soft but confident as she introduces herself. She explains that she's here to perform a hair suspension routine. The audience gasps. Even the judges exchange uncertain glances. It's not a common act, certainly not one you see every day. Some whisper in shock. Others lean forward in curiosity. A judge asks her how dangerous the act is. Lucia laughs gently, but the truth behind her eyes is unmistakable. She knows exactly how dangerous it is. The slightest error, a slip, a sudden jerk, a weak strand of hair. Any of these things could lead to a catastrophic fall. She calmly explains that her act requires years of training, conditioning, pain tolerance, and total trust in her own body. She mentions that she's been practicing since childhood, but never like this. This performance, she tells them, is not just an audition. It is a declaration of who she is. A testament to everything she has survived. The judges fall silent. The audience feels the weight of her words. And when the lights dim, and a single spotlight drops onto her, the entire room grows still. Even the camera operators pause, sensing the intensity in the air. Lucia closes her eyes. Her music starts, soft, haunting, emotional. Her assistant brings forward the large metal ring that hangs from the ceiling. The audience watches in disbelief as Lucia reaches up, ties her hair to the hook at the bottom of the ring, and begins to lift. Her body rises. Slowly at first. Then higher. Suspended entirely by her hair. There's an audible gasp. People cover their mouths. Phones come out. The judges sit frozen, eyes wide. It's one thing to know what she's doing, but seeing it happen is an entirely different experience. Her body floats gracefully above the stage. She begins to spin. First gently. Then faster. The centrifugal force pulls her body outward, creating wide circles of motion. Her limbs extend beautifully, turning her body into an elegant human sculpture in the air. Her hair twists, pulling painfully against her scalp, but she never shows even a flicker of discomfort. The audience can't look away. And neither can the judges. Lucia takes the performance even further. She lifts her legs into a split. The crowd erupts. She arches her back and twirls again, faster and faster, becoming a blur of color and motion. Her body becomes a symbol of strength, her hair a living lifeline connecting her spirit to the world beneath her. But this performance isn't just physical. It's emotional. Everything she does has meaning, because everything she does is rooted in a story of hardship, heartbreak, and extraordinary resilience. Many years ago, long before this stage, Lucia was a child who loved the circus. She would run through the colorful tents, watching the acrobats soar through the sky. But it was the hair suspension artists who captured her heart. These women, with their fierce beauty and incredible strength, seemed almost magical to her. They weren't just defying gravity, they were rewriting it. Lucia wanted to be like them. And so she trained. Relentlessly. Hours every day. But her dreams were not met with applause. Her family struggled with understanding her passion. They feared for her safety. They feared for her future. But Lucia refused to let the dreams inside her die. That determination carried her through years of hard work, pain, and sacrifice. And then came the moment that changed everything. A tragic accident during practice left her injured and afraid. Her hair tore. Her grip failed. Her body hit the ground. And her confidence shattered. For months, she couldn't bring herself to return to training. Fear kept her paralyzed. She believed that her dream had slipped away forever. But something inside her refused to let go. Slowly, she rebuilt herself. She strengthened her hair again. She retrained her body. And she returned with a new sense of purpose, to honor the girl she used to be, and to prove that setbacks don't end dreams. They carve new paths toward them. This performance on Got Talent España wasn't just a routine. It was her comeback. Her redemption. The moment she proved to the world, and to herself, that she could rise again. Back on the stage, Lucia is now performing her most dangerous move. The music shifts. Her body flips upside down, spinning violently, her hair taking the full force of the rotation. The judges clutch the edges of their desks. Some audience members scream. Others cover their eyes. But Lucia is calm. She is in control. Her body moves like water, fluid and powerful. Her hair holds strong. The entire room watches in stunned silence as she lowers herself, her body floating inches above the floor. Her face is serene as she spreads her arms, still suspended by nothing but her hair. The lights shimmer across her costume, making her appear almost otherworldly. Like an angel made of silk and steel. And then she releases her final move, a full-speed spin with her body horizontal to the ground. The crowd explodes with applause. The judges rise to their feet. The host stares in disbelief. When she finally lowers herself and her feet touch the ground again, her knees tremble. The tension in the room breaks. People cheer. People cry. The judges wipe sweat from their foreheads, still shocked by what they witnessed. One judge tells her that she has never seen anything like this in her life. Another says that Lucia's performance was not just dangerous, it was art. Pure art. A merging of pain, beauty, strength, and emotion. Lucia's eyes fill with tears. Not from the pain of the performance, but from the overwhelming gratitude of being seen. Truly seen. The audience chants her name. A judge hits the buzzer, not the golden one, but with such force that the sound echoes through the hall like a promise. A promise that millions watching at home will soon witness her journey too. Lucia walks backstage, overwhelmed by emotion. She knows that today, she didn't just perform. She healed a wound that had been inside her for years. And in doing so, she ignited something powerful in everyone who watched her, a reminder that human strength isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's quiet. Sometimes, it hangs from a strand of hair. But her journey doesn't end there. In the next round of the competition, Lucia decides to push her limits even further. She trains harder, strengthens her hair even more, and designs a performance that blends storytelling, emotion, and even greater danger. Everyone warns her not to risk too much, but she knows what she's capable of. Her second performance begins with her walking barefoot across the stage. A storm of sound builds behind her, thunder, wind, distant echoes of pain. The lighting shifts as though shadows are chasing her across the floor. Her movements slow and deliberate as she ties her hair to a single ring again. This time, the ring begins to rise before she has even fully adjusted, lifting her body unexpectedly, creating an atmosphere of tension. The judges gasp. The audience holds its breath. But Lucia doesn't panic. She embraces the challenge, using the sudden lift as part of the choreography. Her body spins, weaving through imaginary storms. Lightning flashes behind her on the LED screens. Her hair becomes her anchor in the chaos, symbolizing how she held onto her dreams through the storms of her life. She twists herself into complex shapes. She performs acrobatic movements only a handful of people on Earth have ever mastered. And with each rotation, each suspended breath, she pours her soul into the story she's telling. By the end, the stage is silent. The judges look shaken, not by fear, but by awe. They have witnessed something profound. One judge calls her performance a miracle of human strength and willpower. Another says she has changed what they believe the body is capable of. A third simply stands and claps, tears in her eyes. The audience rises again. Not in chaos this time, but in reverent silence before the applause erupts again. Lucia stands center stage, overwhelmed once more. She never speaks much, but in her silence she expresses everything. Her body tells the story. Her art becomes her voice. Her final performance of the season is the most breathtaking of all. She integrates fire, smoke, and dramatic lighting. Her hair lift takes her higher into the air, and she performs moves that are so dangerous the judges hold their breath the entire time. At one point, she drops rapidly toward the floor, stopping only inches from it. The audience screams. Some can't even watch. But when the flames behind her flare, and she spins with a ferocity that defies logic, the audience feels it, not just the thrill, but the emotion. The raw power. The years of pain transformed into beauty. By the end of the performance, the audience knows they haven't just watched an act. They have witnessed the journey of a woman who refused to break. Who refused to let fear define her. Who risked everything, her dreams, her safety, her body, to share her art with the world. Lucia inspires millions. Her clips go viral. People around the globe talk about her courage, her talent, and the unbelievable strength hidden in something as simple as hair. She becomes a symbol of perseverance and passion. A reminder that the things that make us vulnerable can also be the things that make us powerful. And long after the show ends, long after the applause fades, long after the lights go down, Lucia's legacy remains. She changes the world not by shouting, but by soaring through the air with nothing but her hair holding her up. A woman who transformed pain into poetry, danger into elegance, and fear into flight. This is the story of the woman who risks it all on her hair. A woman who teaches us that sometimes the greatest strength comes from the most unexpected places. A woman whose courage continues to inspire millions long after her feet leave the ground.